Good morning, boys and girls, and happy Tuesday. Welcome back. So today we're going to be looking at the shaping of the U.S. in 1783. We're also going to be looking at something very, very important called the Louisiana Purchase. So what I want you to do first is I want you to look at this map right here. So this is the U.S. I kind of showed it to you guys a little bit yesterday, but I want to look at it a little bit deeper. So for those of you that don't know, this is the U.S. This area right here, and you see the little dotted outline, this is where the 13 original colonies used to stretch, okay? Now, after the Treaty of Paris was signed in 1819, Britain had to give control to the U.S. all of this land before this line right here, okay? Florida, if you remember correctly, was still under control of Spain. And everything from this line over was under control of Spain. Now, Oregon we'll talk about later because Oregon has kind of been a wild card in all of this. But right now where we're starting as kind of a refresher, this is the only thing that colonists know anything about. Okay, so I want you to look at this picture right here. And I want you to think about what's going on. And I want you to think about what the people are doing. And I want you to think about what direction people seem to be going in. To me, there's a couple things that stand out right away. Number one, I see a lot of people gathering toward the train, okay? I see that the train is in the direction of the wide open space. I see right here, it looks like even just the symbolism of pollution is hitting the American Indians over here, and they're kind of getting forgotten, which we're going to talk about more and more. But you see this big open area, and this represents opportunity. And so this is an area that colonists wanted to claim. And we're going to talk about why. But the biggest reason is they wanted to live, they wanted to have land. They wanted to be able to build their own crops. They wanted their own space. They wanted opportunity for their families to grow. And so they wanted to live on these farms that could produce lots of wealthy resources. Okay, America was really proud of their country, and they believed it was their right to spread their religion, government, and ways of life westward across the Pacific. This is called the manifest destiny. It's a belief. Okay, they believe it's their destiny to expand. So that came to be, the next thing that came to be was the Louisiana Purchase. Okay, so this was some land that was bought between the Mississippi River and the Rocky Mountains. They bought this from France. So at this point, France had access from here. This is about the Mississippi River, from here to about right here. Okay, Rocky Mountains go to about right here. So they bought these areas right in here, 2 and 3, I would say, are the next two sections that they bought. This was, it tells you a little bit more detail, which I want you to read today, a little bit more specifically about the cost and a little bit more specifically about the regions that were included, etc. But this was a really, really important purchase for America. It was the first big purchase. It wasn't won over war. It was just won by smart businessmen. And France didn't want war. France needed money. And so they were like, all right, you can have it. We don't need it. So they gave it up for $15 million. Pretty interesting. So make sure you read both of those sections in more detail today. I just kind of skimmed over them for you. You can kind of take a look at this map, and there are 4 questions for you to answer based on today's section over those 2. Okay, 1 and 2, which I just kind of pointed out right here, section 1 and section 2. So you'll see them numbered. So that's what I'm talking about when I say section 1 and section 2. Make sure that you submit them when you're finished. Okay, that's super important. And then also make sure that you are answering the active engagement. So this was from yesterday's reading. So make sure you answer this first in the text box below. That's it for today's social studies. I will see you guys on Zoom.